Today, we are going to talk about content that actually connects and converts. So, in this session, we will learn strategies on how to write headlines, what value props, call to actions, and how we directly speak to your ideal client and or clients. And I am going to show you some example and tips on how to structure your site for a maximum impact. Because we want your site to be a powerhouse, a magnetic powerhouse that actually helps you. A website is not just there to be a storefront or a business card. You can do so much with your website. And the most important things is to create credibility, trust with your potential client. So that is what we're going to be diving into today. But first up, if you are new here and you don't know who I am, my name is Karin Haggard. I am a Swedish brand designer and business strategist. Yes, I am born and raised in Sweden. So if you detect a little bit of an accent, that's where that's from. I founded K-Hag Design. Well, it's probably a couple decades ago, but went full time now 14 years ago. So it's been around for a minute. And I have guided hundreds of clients to make impactful brands and websites. I am a doer, I'm an athlete, and I'm a creator. I love design and I believe in uniqueness. I truly believe each and one of us has something unique we're here to share. And if I ever get to work with you, that is what I will be pulling out of you. And then kindness is cool. That's what I live by. All right, so let's jump in. Why website content is key to conversions. See, yes, can you let me know in the chat if you do have a website right now or if you're about to create a website? That'd be great. So I know where I have you. I'll take a little. All right. So we got some websites. So I'm going to go over the top keys that we'll dive into here in just a few moments on how to create content that actually connects and converts. But first, clarity shows you know what you're doing and it helps people trust you and know that you actually understand them. So, how to do that? That is being clear on your process, your approach. It could be case studies, it could be before and after, just showing that you clearly, that was hard to say, uh, describe your service and what you're offering. So they know right away what to expect. Consistency, that is showing up everywhere in a similar manner. So it doesn't matter if you are on the phone or if you're in the social media or if you are on the website or whatever, or in person for that matter. Consistency shows that you're reliable. It shows that you can trust and that you have credibility. Connection. This is showing that you understand them. So, speaking directly to their pain points and desires, and doing so in a way that makes them feel drawn in. And a really great way to do that is telling stories, being thoughtful, because trust is not just logic. It's felt like you have a feeling when you connect to somebody. It is more energetic than you can actually imagine. It's like subconscious, we get a feeling right away. So it's leaning into those things. And with that, of course, what makes you unique? So, proof is another one to show that you can actually deliver. So, social proofs gives permission for them to believe you. So that could be, for instance, testimonials or reviews. And this depends on, now I don't know what field you guys are in, but if you are in the financial industry, I know that it's uh, not always allowed. So you have to check with compliance in whatever industry you're in to make sure that that's possible. Before and after is excellent. For example, in my industry, because I can show what it looked like before and what it looks like afterwards. That really helps out with the proof. And then you can share client wins. One thing that I think is really important in this proof section is if you can pull in without handpicking testimonials or reviews, so more reviews, then that will be more trust building because it's not like we all got, or maybe not, but hopefully you all get really good reviews and then you pick the absolutely best ones. It just doesn't turn as real as you would want it to. And for the end user, then it could start feeling like a little bit a little crack in creating the credibility or the trust. Transparency, that shows integrity. So open about what you offer, how it actually works, and what it costs. Like, what are you going to charge for your services? Being fully transparent is an excellent way to build credibility too. And then you can get the question, well, maybe they get scared off. Well, then it's important to show what your value is along with that. Because if they get scared off, you're lacking in communicating your value. Because if it's something that's really good, it doesn't really matter how much it costs. I'm sure you've been in a place where, like, oh, I really want, I don't know, this meal, or I really want this piece of clothing, or I really want this car, whatever level it's at. But if you have that feeling that there's something you really want, you're going to make sure you actually get it. And that is from building the value behind it, that this is what you want. So don't be afraid of showing pricing. Instead, make sure or focus on delivering the value. And understanding your audience. This is what I'll go over here next. I have multiple ways to show you understanding your audience, because these are actually what I typically say is the most important thing is know your ideal client, so understanding your audience and what you do differently. So if you take anything away today, is those two things: know your ideal client and what you can do differently. And then it's easier to communicate in your content. So start with deep listening. This is how you really get to know your clients. And for example, I love taking discovery calls. Those are my sales calls. And honestly, I take them with most people just because I really want to get to know people. What are they struggling with? Like, I'm always listening. What are they struggling? What are they looking forward to get? How can I optimize my offer or service based on what they're telling me? You can obviously also, if you have an engaging social media platform, your DM, people are going to ask you questions in your testimonials. Or here's a really good one, is asking for feedback after you work with somebody. It can feel a little bit uncomfortable. Like, sometimes I feel like, a client maybe didn't go as well and you don't want to send it out, but that is really valuable information, because they are going to let you know what it is that you could have done better. And then you can do that for the next client. So deep listening is a really excellent way to understand your audience. Then define pain points and desires. So if you understand your audience, do you know what are they struggling with? Like, I know my clients feel really overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. They probably like design, but they don't know how to actually make it happen. So, what do they crave and what do they actually want to achieve? That is what we want to communicate in our content. What transformation are they looking for? Use your contents to show that you see them and you can guide them from there. So things like, if you're feeling blank, if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're not alone. It's really nice to validate a point. This is what we can do. Or imagine what it would feel like if you finally had your finances in check. Or if your skin was fully clear. How will that make you feel? Or you're going to feel more confident, at ease, peace of mind, whatever it might be. So, really understand them so you can see them. We all want to be seen. These are all like basic human behaviors and how we actually work. Oops, did I skip one? No, there. And then you want to pair it with visuals because that will actually reinforce what it is you say. People feel messages through your tone, design, your visuals. It's not just words. And then here's an interesting fact. It's probably one of my favorite statistics. 80% of communication is visual. So before I even say something, when you saw me just coming on here, you have made a judgment, whether it's good or bad. It just happens. It's how we work. To be able to maneuver our lives, we compartmentalize things. We put them in boxes so we know, okay, this person has short hair, that means that. Or this person wears a tie, that means that. Or this website has a lot of color, that means that. Our minds automatically, subconsciously put everything into boxes so we can move through life much more easily. So make sure your visuals in your copies, so your content, actually stays aligned because that will reinforce your message. So, key elements to high converting website content. So, let's dive into those. Number one is instantly grab their attention or not. Yes, we either want to just pull them in or we want them to go off and do their whatever they're supposed to be doing. Don't hold on to somebody because you just want to hold on to a client because you have a lack of clients. Make sure you get, or audience for that matter. So if you have an email list, don't hold on to a bunch of people on your email list because it's a higher number. Make sure you have the right people with you in your audience that come to your site. And to know that right off the bat, I have a 4-step action method, I call it. Who is it for? What are you offering? And how is it going to transform their life? And a clear call to action. So you want to have those 4 pieces right when you land on a site. That way, you're going to know if your client is, or the user is going to know if they're in the right place or if they're not. And then they keep going or they jump off. And both are really important. I'm going to take a little, sorry. Key number 2, a confident personality filled brand voice. Personality filled. So this brings back to the top of my presentation, which I was mentioning. I look for uniqueness. Anytime I work with somebody, I look for the small little nuances on what you do differently because this is where people connect. Where something, if it feels like, oh, that's my person, that's who I want to talk to. I don't know what she's selling, but I want to be a part of it. That's the personality filled part. That's communicating your values, what you stand for, and how you want to interact with your people. This builds trust and matches your ideal audience. So it's basically you want to show up the way that you really feel aligned, and then you'll connect with the people that have the same kind of vibes, so to speak. Key number 3, compelling client-centric copy. And this one is really important. We tend to want to focus on ourselves when we build a website because this is what I do, this is what I offer, this is how I can help you. But if you turn it around from I create thoughtful brand systems to you will walk away with a brand that reflects your essence and that actually converts users into client. It's focusing on what you want or the end user wants. Because at the end of the day, the person landing on the site don't really care about you. I know it feels a little bit rough to say, but it's the truth. They want to make sure you have the solution for them. So, client centric copy. Key number 4, social proof. We mentioned this earlier. But it could also, I was talking about testimonials and reviews, but it could also be logos, like maybe you've been featured in Forbes magazine or you were on Oprah's podcast. Having those logos displayed on your site, not written out, but actually displayed on your site, because logos, the visuals, connects with your audience much faster, or you can able to digest that much faster versus reading. So you want the logos. You can have fictitious clients if you're in the financial industry or any other industry that is highly regulated. And then, as I mentioned earlier, testimonials or reviews. And I really like reviews because, again, that will show the raw, real information from the previous client, not testimonials where you just pick and choose what you want to say. Although testimonials are lovely too, and they're really nice to, I don't know, on a hard day when you get a good testimonial, it's so nice. Let's see, 4, 5. Yes. So key number 5 is storytelling that flows. So putting yourself in your client's shoes and think of their problem, their solutions, their benefit, and action, and wrap it up into a story, emotionally and compelling, because we all love stories. This is also from way back in the time. It's like we can understand something if we can visualize a story. So if you're telling a story about, you know, in my case, I usually say, um, as a near fatal, as I was in a near fatal car accident, motorcycle accident, I no longer just want a half-ass life. I want to live beyond mediocrity. And all of a sudden, you have a picture in your head of this motorcycle accident or a car accident, and then that I don't want to live in wow, it's hard to say. I have a hard time babbling today. Not a good thing. Mediocrity. Then you have a story that is built around it. And this is why I want to pull out the uniqueness in people to really make them uh, build the thing that they're meant to do. That's my story. And that gives an insight into my life. You put your story together so you can communicate what it is and what your client wants. Number 6 is a little bit of a dry one, but navigation, navigating your content. And here is, in my opinion, simplify to amplify. You can think of it as you walking into a grocery store and there is a gazillion rows of cereal. It's like, you can't decide what you want. So guide your user where they need to go and where they want to go. Because at the end of the day, you have the cure for cancer or your cure for financial freedom or for website shame, whatever it is that your client's looking for, they want to get to the point what you are offering also. So we get a win-win situation. So make it simple for them to find what they're looking for. Don't have a cereal aisle of options so they don't know what to pick. Number 7, clarity, clarity, clarity. Clarity. It just feels so good. That's what I always say. And I mean, this is in everything from your website to your life to what you want for dinner. When you have clarity, it's so much easier to navigate. So start with clarity. What is your process? What is your service, pricing, outcome, and about you? Have that all clear, and it makes it so much easier to communicate what it is that you're offering. And we're back to my favorite stat here. 80% of communication is visual. 80%. Like literally let that sink in. That is a lot. So really make sure that you show up how you want to show up. Even if you have a bad day, like today, I want to say I dressed up even more than I normally do because I had a mopey day yesterday. So I thought, heck, I'm going to dress the way that I want to feel. And visually, this communicates something. So 80%, that's just an example, but 80% of communication is visual. And to recap this, clarity over your process, approach, case studies, expertise, and clear service description, consistency, voice across all your platforms, social media, website, on the phone, in person, all of it. The more consistent you are, the more reliability and credibility you will build. It's a way to show that you are professional, if you want to use that word, uh, throughout, and that you can be counted. Um, you can count on you, is what I want to say. Here's my Swedishness coming in. Connection. So, audience language. Don't use jargon. Be client focused. Make them feel seen and understood. Be clear on what their pain points are and their desires. So, understanding your audience. All of this will really help you hone in and clarify your content. Make sure you have proof, social proof, peer reviews, client stories, logos where you've been featured in, visuals again. So it backs up what it is that you're talking about. And then always be transparent, be clear. You can do that in FAQs, be clear with your pricing and why you're a good fit or why you're not a good fit. So that is what I have for you today. And we actually hit perfectly at 25 minutes. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them, hopefully, if I can. So ask any kind of question and yeah, put them in the question mark section or the chat. Let's see if we got something there. And if you don't have any questions, you don't need to, then you can find me on K-Hag Design anywhere, basically on social platforms, khagdesign.com. Um, let's see. There it is, KR Design and at KR Design. So you can find me in all those places. Email me or DM me, whatever feels good to you. I am here to support you in however I can to build your brand and your business to make a greater impact in the world. All right. I'll